What if the drink you've trusted for years was quietly banned or reformulated overseas? In Europe, regulators have looked at certain American sodas and said an unshakable no, flagging chemical dyes tied to hyperactivity, sweeteners under strict daily limits, and additives linked to cancer risks. Yet here in the US, those same drinks sit in our fridges without warning labels, marketed as fun, safe, and even health-conscious. Why are millions of Americans still drinking what other countries have refused to put on shelves? Is it because our formula is truly different, or because we've been kept in the dark about what's inside? And if other nations can demand safer recipes without losing the taste, why aren't we asking for the same? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Today we're breaking down the 5 American soft drinks Europe said no to, and why you're still drinking them. Number 1. Mountain Dew. You will always see Mountain Dew in America. That bright green bottle has a way of winking at you from behind the glass door of a gas station cooler, like it knows you've had a long day and you're about to make it longer. It's been the unofficial fuel of late-night games in the garage, midnight drives on empty highways, and those just one more hour moments on a factory floor. Just crack it open and let the citrus and caffeine punch do the heavy lifting. In some towns, it's almost a family heirloom. Kids grow up watching their parents grab one without thinking, like the way you might reach for salt at the dinner table. Yet the same drink that's a fixture here got the cold shoulder in Europe when they took one look at what's inside and said, "No, not here." This isn't a story about taste, but about ingredients that sound more at home in a hardware store than in your fridge. For decades, American Mountain Dew contained brominated vegetable oil, laced with bromine, the same chemical used in flame retardants. Its only job was to keep the citrus flavor from floating to the top like grease in chicken soup. In the European Union, BVO never even made it past the door. They banned it outright over fears it could build up in the body and cause memory problems, skin sores, or reproductive issues. And that glowing color is even worse. It comes from yellow 5 and yellow 6, dyes that Europe only allows if the label warns they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Over here, there's no such heads up. You get the glow, but not the warning, and parents are left scratching their heads when their kid can't sit still in class. The fallout is more than just words in a safety report. It's written in teeth, or what's left of them. In parts of Appalachia, Mountain Dew mouth has become shorthand for severe tooth decay in teenagers and young adults. With an acidity close to vinegar and over 40 grams of sugar in a single bottle, it strips away enamel, while feeding the bacteria that turn teeth into brittle stumps. For those without dental insurance, the price isn't just in pain, but also in missed work, infections that can land you in the hospital, and dentures before middle age. Every dental bill forces an ugly trade-off with the grocery budget or the heating bill, and the unsettling stories don't stop there. In 2012, a man claimed he found a rodent in his can. The lawsuit was thrown out, but PepsiCo's defense that the soda's chemical makeup would have dissolved the mouse left people picturing something straight out of a horror movie. Add in industry-wide scares about benzene forming in citrus sodas when certain preservatives mix with vitamin C under heat, and you see a pattern. Changes come only after a public mess. For those who've trusted this drink for years, that's such a betrayal. The way it's marketed makes the sting sharper. Dew has long hitched itself to extreme sports, gaming, and candy-colored limited editions. Those things are designed to light up young eyes, while Europe slaps restrictions on caffeine-heavy drinks for minors. It's hard to swallow the idea that the same company willing to reformulate for overseas customers still sells the unfiltered version to American kids. Of course, even a giant like PepsiCo isn't immune to pressure. Reformulating for stricter markets costs money, and fighting for shelf space in a world turning toward flavored water and tea isn't easy. But that only leaves us with a bigger, more uncomfortable question. Why do Americans have to wait until someone else's government forces a cleaner recipe before we get it? Maybe the next time you want that fizzy hit, you will try something different. Sparkling waters like Polar or Bubbly give you bubbles without the dyes or caffeine. Spindrift uses real fruit juice for flavor, and San Pellegrino's Limonada tastes more like an actual lemon than a lab experiment. Or you can go homemade like Club Soda over ice. A squeeze of lemon or orange, a teaspoon of honey, a pinch of salt. It's cheap, quick, and the sweetness is in your hands, not theirs. And maybe that's the real point. If Europe can say no to a certain formula for its people, why are we still quietly saying yes to the one they won't even let pass their border? Number 2. Dr Pepper.
That's good. What's that Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper has always played the charming oddball in America's soda lineup, the one with the mysterious 23 flavors, a drink that somehow felt like a cross between a soda fountain classic and a back porch secret recipe. It's the fizz in a paper cup at the Sunday cookout, the glass bottle next to a burger at a roadside diner, the sip that shows up at high school games and family reunions alike. You don't need to know every ingredient in the magic blend. You just know it's familiar, reliable, and always waiting on the shelf. No steeping tea leaves, no brewing coffee. Just crack the tab and drink a piece of Americana. But if you hop across the Atlantic, that same drink doesn't make it through customs without a makeover, and the changes Europe demands say more about regulation and health priorities than about flavor preferences. One of the biggest sticking points is its coloring, specifically caramel color class 4. In the US, this type of caramel color is often made using an ammonia sulfite process that can generate 4-MeI-4-methylimidazole, a compound California lists as a potential cancer risk. The European Union doesn't ban caramel color outright, but it enforces stricter 4-MeI limits that push companies to adjust their manufacturing. Americans, on the other hand, drink the higher 4-MeI version without a warning label in sight, leaving the long-term health gamble to the consumer. For households without robust healthcare coverage, that's not just a label difference. It's the quiet trade-off between trust and risk that might not reveal itself for decades. The sweetener choice tells a similar story. Here, Dr. Pepper has leaned on high-fructose corn syrup for decades, buoyed by U.S. corn subsidies that make HFCS dirt cheap. Europe doesn't ban it, but many countries restrict its use due to agricultural quotas and public health goals. Research has connected heavy HFCS consumption to insulin resistance, fatty liver buildup, and rising obesity rates, conditions that already weigh heavily on working class and senior Americans. Meanwhile, European Dr. Pepper uses cane or beet sugar, producing a cleaner taste and arguably a cleaner nutritional profile. The bitter twist? The real sugar bottles Americans hunt down for nostalgia are much closer to the European recipe than the one they buy every day at their local grocery store. Caffeine is another place where the divide shows. A 12-ounce can of Dr. Pepper packs 41 milligrams, more than some teas. In the EU, sodas with added caffeine must carry clear labeling, and marketing to children is more tightly controlled. In the US, there's no such rule. So the same retro fonts and playful ads that charm adults also make it easy for a kid to grab a bottle without realizing they're drinking a stimulant. The brand's history hasn't been free from public skepticism either. In 2015, Keurig Dr Pepper faced a lawsuit over its made from real sugar line, accused of misleading consumers by keeping artificial additives and the same ammonia-processed caramel color. The case didn't produce a massive payout, but it chipped away at the perception of transparency, especially for shoppers who were already growing wary of feel-good marketing claims. From the European perspective, the US formula's combination of high 4-MeI caramel color, HFCS, and vague caffeine disclosure reads less like a heritage recipe and more like an overdue assignment for reformulation. And reformulate they did. UK and EU versions use sugar instead of HFCS, meet tighter 4-MeI standards, and comply with caffeine. Labeling rules without losing that peppery spiced kick. For those who want the flavor without the baggage, options exist. Boylan's Cane Cola offers a craft-style soda with cane sugar and no ammonia-processed caramel color. Virgil's Zero Sugar Cola takes the natural sweetener route, skipping both HFCS and questionable coloring. Or for the adventurous, you can mimic that 23 flavor mystery at home. Sparkling water, black cherry juice, a splash of prune juice, a drop of vanilla extract, and the tiniest pinch of cinnamon. It's surprisingly close, and you'll know exactly what's in the glass. So the question isn't whether Dr. Pepper can meet higher standards. It already does for other countries. The question is why Americans are still being poured the version with higher 4-MeI levels in HFCS. Is it really a matter of taste, or have we simply never been given the choice to find out? Number 3. Coca-Cola Cherry. Coca-Cola Cherry has always been the cheeky twist on an American classic. The fun cousin of regular Coke, the one you reach for at the movie concession stand, pour into a glass clinking with ice at a backyard cookout, or keep stashed in the fridge for a sweet pick-me-up after a long day. No need to buy fresh cherries, wrestle with the pits, or fuss with a juicer. Just pop the cap, and you've got that familiar cola bite wrapped in a candy-sweet cherry hug. It's sold as nostalgia you can sip, like a 50s soda fountain in a bottle without the drive downtown. But when that nostalgia tried to cross into Europe, it didn't get in without some serious editing. Because European regulators saw more than just a pretty flavor profile. The first thing they flagged was its color. That deep, rosy hue in the US version comes from Red 40, a synthetic dye the EU allows only if the front label warns it may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. This requirement isn't for show. It's based on research linking certain artificial dyes to hyperactivity and behavioral changes in kids. Some European retailers take it a step further and refuse to sell products with these dyes at all, switching instead to natural colorants from fruit. Here in America, you won't find any such warning. That means a drink that would require an ADHD caution label in Europe can be marketed here as a carefree treat, whether you're 6 or 60. And of course, there's the sugar hit. 42 grams in a single 12-ounce can, more than 10 teaspoons. That's enough to blow past the World Health Organization's daily added sugar recommendation in a few swigs. For seniors managing blood sugar or heart conditions, that once in a while indulgence can turn into a slow, steady health drain. Pair that with the soda's acidity, and you've got a perfect recipe for tooth decay, especially for people without dental coverage. The marketing stays laser focused on keeping the drink playful and timeless. Retro. Fonts, music tie-ins, limited edition canned designs. Slipping neatly past the stricter advertising restrictions Europe enforces for high-sugar drinks aimed at youth. In neighborhoods where tap water tastes questionable, bottled water is overpriced, and healthier options feel like luxuries. This isn't just about preference, it's about how the deck is stacked in favor of the cheapest, most marketed option. But here's the kicker. Coca-Cola already makes a cleaner version for Europe. They can swap the dye, adjust the sweetener, and meet stricter caramel color standards without losing the essence of cherry Coke. That version exists. We just don't get it. If you want the flavor without the baggage, there are ways to get there. Zevia Cherry Cola skips synthetic dyes and caramel coloring, using stevia for sweetness. Boylan's Black Cherry Soda sticks to cane sugar and real flavor, no HFCS. Or go DIY, sparkling water, a splash of tart cherry juice, a touch of vanilla, and a squeeze of lemon over ice. It's refreshing, vivid, and completely under your control, which leaves one question worth mulling over. If Coca-Cola can serve Europeans a version with fewer additives, lower 4-MEI, and no hyperactivity warning, why are we still getting the one that fails those tests? Is it really that we love it this way? Or have we just been taught never to ask what's behind the color and sweetness we've come to trust? Number 4. Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max staked its claim in the American market by pitching itself as the ultimate loophole. Maximum taste, zero sugar. It's the can you reach for at your desk instead of another coffee. The tall glass you pour at a backyard cookout when you're counting carbs. The guilt-free, fizzy companion you set on the poker table. No measuring sweetener into iced tea. No waiting for cold brew to steep. Just the instant snap of carbonation and cola flavor that makes you feel like you've beaten the diet game. But in Europe, that same can doesn't stroll onto shelves untouched. The recipe has to pass through a regulatory filter that strips out or changes certain things Americans barely know are there. The sharpest difference sits in the sweeteners. The US formula relies on aspartame and acetylsulfame potassium, two synthetic sweeteners that have been picked apart in European scientific reviews for years. Both are legal there, but the European Food Safety Authority sets strict daily intake limits and requires highly visible warnings for people with phenylketonuria because of aspartame's phenylalanine content. Here in the States, the warning exists but hides in small print that most eyes never find. Research has linked heavy, long-term consumption of these sweeteners to potential gut microbiome changes, shifts in glucose tolerance, and appetite regulation quirks. For older Americans and workers swapping sugary soda for diet options every day, those side effects could quietly chip away at the health improvements they thought they were making. The caffeine content is another curveball, about 69 milligrams per 12-ounce can, nearly double what's in a regular Pepsi. In several European countries, high caffeine drinks must carry a front label warning saying they're not recommended for children or pregnant women. In America, Pepsi Max sits right next to regular sodas without a single extra caution, leaving consumers to realize only later why they're buzzing at midnight. For seniors with heart rhythm concerns or folks pulling night shifts, that's a surprise with consequences. Marketing in the US leans into high-energy branding, sports tie-ins, gaming sponsorships, and edgy humor that courts younger audiences. In Europe, advertising rules choke off this kind of direct appeal to minors when it comes to high-caffeine, artificially sweetened drinks. Here, the brand can start building loyalty in teens before they've even thought about what artificial sweetener means, let alone how much caffeine is in the can. And there's a subtler concern: the flavor profile. Pepsi Max's sweetness is engineered to go beyond anything sugar alone could achieve, rewiring taste buds to expect extreme sweetness. European public health officials have warned that this sweetness training can make naturally sweet foods, like fruit, taste dull. For families in food deserts or on tight budgets, that shift in taste preference can push even further toward cheap, processed calories over fresh produce. Cleaner options exist if you want a bold cola hit without the EU's list of caveats. Virgil's Zero Sugar Cola uses a stevia erythritol blend and avoids caramel coloring with high 4-MEI potential. Zevia Cola skips both artificial colors and chemical sweeteners entirely. Or if you want full control, mix sparkling water with a shot of strong black tea for caffeine, add a teaspoon of maple syrup for gentle sweetness, and finish with a squeeze of lime. You'll get bite, sweetness, and fizz without a chemical aftertaste. Which leaves the real question: if Pepsi can meet stricter European rules, lower potential contaminants, and keep its maximum taste overseas, why are Americans still drinking the version with higher 4-MEI, more caffeine, and fewer warnings? Is it truly what we prefer? Or have we just never been shown the alternative? Number 5. Gatorade. Some drinks don't just quench thirst, they also wear the mask of a personal trainer, pat you on the back, and promise, "I've got you covered." Gatorade has played that role for decades. Whether it's sweating on the sidelines of a neighborhood ball game, sitting in a hospital cup beside a recovering patient, or riding shotgun in the cooler of a pickup truck. Twist the cap, and you're supposedly getting electrolytes, recovery, and energy without ever needing to know what those words actually mean. The bright, swirling color inside the bottle practically shouts that it's science approved and champion endorsed. But in Europe, the same bottle couldn't just stroll onto the shelves. It had to shed some of its flash because regulators decided certain ingredients didn't belong in something meant for human bodies. A standard bottle carries about 9 teaspoons, far more than most bodies need unless you're running a marathon in desert heat. For a child in gym class, an older worker doing light tasks, or a senior living with diabetes, that's not fuel but actually a spike followed by a crash, with a side of dental damage from the acid that slowly scrapes away enamel. In Europe, tighter rules on sugar and sports drinks aren't just about weight, they're about keeping public health systems from drowning in preventable problems down the road. Here, the fallout lands squarely on the individual, often in the form of medical bills or another missing tooth. The brand's marketing history hasn't been spotless either. Through the 90s and 2000s, Gatorade planted itself deep in schools, sponsoring sports, filling vending machines, despite most students having no need for electrolyte replacement. In 2013, a digital campaign even mocked plain water, painting it as inferior for hydration. California's Attorney General stepped in, leading to a settlement and a promise to clean up the message. But a $300,000 penalty barely dents a billion-dollar empire, and it leaves a lingering truth. Even healthy brands will lean on psychology and habit if it means keeping you hooked. Labeling tells another story. In Europe, sugar and additive levels must be listed clearly per 100 milliliters, making it harder to hide high concentrations behind big serving sizes. In America, labels still play a numbers game, knowing shoppers rarely do math in the 7-Eleven aisle. For those on fixed incomes or managing health conditions, this isn't a minor inconvenience. It's a barrier to making choices that could change how they feel every single day. Still, it's easy to see why Gatorade remains everywhere. As heat waves grow longer and hotter, hydration is a genuine concern, especially for outdoor workers, seniors, and anyone without air conditioning. The problem isn't the concept, it's the extra sugar, the dyes, and the way they sneak into our routines under the banner of health. Imagine if the same billion-dollar marketing machine pushed a dye-free, low-sugar version for everyday Americans, instead of saving that cleaner formula for markets with stricter rules. And here's the part that stings. It's not that the brand can't do better, it's that it already does, just not for us. That's where the questions start to bite. Is our loyalty being rewarded with the best product, or just the easiest one to sell? If we've been taught that real hydration has to glow like a traffic cone, what else have we swallowed under the promise of wellness? Number 6. Sunkist Orange Soda. Sunkist Orange Soda has long sold itself as more than just a drink. It's been bottled sunshine, the taste of a carefree afternoon, the fizz that makes a picnic table feel complete. That neon orange glow has grinned at us from burger stand coolers, convenience store fridges, and lunchroom tables for generations. You don't have to peel an orange, deal with sticky fingers, or scrub out a juicer. Just pop the tab, take a sip, and the day feels a little brighter. But the same cheerful glow that lights up American shelves doesn't beam quite so freely across the Atlantic. In Europe, that sunshine comes with warning labels, or gets left out entirely, because regulators there have decided some parts of Sunkist's formula belong in a lab more than in a glass. The first red flag, ironically, is the color itself. US Sunkist owes its vivid hue to yellow 6 and red 40, synthetic dyes that the European Union allows only if the package clearly warns they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. This isn't marketing fluff. It's law, born from research connecting these dyes to hyperactivity and behavioral issues. In some countries, big supermarket chains have pulled products with these dyes from shelves entirely. Yet here at home, there's no such caution. Just the same soda that would trigger a bright warning in Europe sitting quietly in our coolers. And for parents watching every dollar, the missing label means they could be buying an after-school treat that's really a sugar and dye time bomb for their kids' focus and mood. Then comes the caffeine curveball. Most people don't expect their orange soda to pack more caffeine than a Coke, but Sunkist Orange in the US carries about 41 milligrams per 12-ounce can. In Europe, fruit sodas with caffeine often face age limits or must post warnings for pregnant women and kids. Here, that caffeine content is quietly folded into the sweetness, leaving buyers to believe the burst of energy comes from pure citrus joy rather than a chemical nudge. The sugar content is another heavy hitter. 44 grams per can, enough to blow past the World Health Organization's daily limit in one serving. Combine that with an acidity high enough to soften enamel, and you have a perfect storm. Teeth that are easier to damage, bacteria ready to feast, and dental bills you can't easily pay. For seniors managing diabetes, kids struggling with weight, or anyone already juggling medical costs, that refreshment can carry a price far higher than the sticker on the can. Sunkist's marketing has never been shy about chasing young eyes. From the neon-soaked commercials of the 80s to social media tie-ins in recent years, it has positioned itself as the bright, fun antidote to boring colas. In Europe, stricter laws keep brands from advertising sugary drinks directly to children. In the US, the only filter is a parent's resolve. And when Sunkist is cheaper than real orange juice, price often wins over nutrition. What makes this harder to swallow is knowing the cleaner version already exists. In some European markets, Sunkist swaps the synthetic dyes for natural color from beta-carotene or paprika extract, cuts the caffeine entirely, and still manages to taste recognizably like orange soda. It's proof that the brand can make a version without the baggage. It just hasn't been offered to Americans, and that's where the bigger question surfaces. Are we so used to the version we grew up with that we've stopped asking if it's the best they can do? If you want the fizz without the EU's red flags, you don't have to settle. Izzy Sparkling Clementine skips the dyes and caffeine entirely. San Pellegrino's Aranciata offers a richer orange profile with fewer additives. Even discount chains like Aldi or Lidl sell dye-free sparkling orange drinks for a fraction of the cost. Or you could make your own. Club soda, fresh orange juice, and a teaspoon of agave over ice. 1 minute, no hidden caffeine, no chemical coloring. So the next time that orange glow catches your eye in the cooler, it's worth asking, if Sunkist can shine just as bright for European customers without the extra baggage, why are we still sipping the murkier version here? Is it because we truly prefer it? Or because somewhere along the way, we were taught that real orange soda should taste like whatever formula is cheapest to make? Demand the truth behind every sip. Subscribe now and join us in uncovering what they're really serving America.
Thanks so much for sticking with us to the very end. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our daily updates. And now feel free to check out some of our latest and most popular videos showing up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.